Last week, Michigan's Independent Redistricting Committee finalized and approved new district maps for U.S. Congress, State House, and State Senate seats that will be in place for this year's election.
Political reporter Rick Albin here now to talk about what the new districts look like. And while that vote may not be the final work, Rick?
First, let's start with some simple truths. Every 10 years, the districts are redrawn. Every 10 years, people complain about the new districts. This time, instead of the legislature drawing new lines, voters approved a group of citizens that by law cannot be deeply involved in the political process to make the new boundaries. And people are complaining about the new districts. It's par for the course. Let's take a look at what those new maps look like in just a few of our area's state Senate districts, keeping in mind the constitutional criteria that the commission was supposed to go by. That included all districts having to be equal population, give or take 5% when it comes to state offices. These appear to be so. Districts have to be geographically contiguous, which they are. And then there's this, the third criteria. Districts shall reflect the state's diverse population and communities of interest. Communities of interest can be broadly interpreted, and that is where many may question these new maps. Let's look at Kent County after the 2011 redistricting. Kent was comprised largely of two Senate districts, the 28th, which was the north and west part of the county, and the 29th, that took in Grand Rapids and the southeast part of Kent. Now, Kentwood and Gaines Township were included in the 26th district. That also included Allegan and Van Buren counties, and 10 years ago, that drew some complaints. So Kent was represented by 3 state senators, most of the folks living in the 28th and 29th district. After the 2021 redistricting, as it stands today, Kent would be represented by 5 state senators. The old 26th becomes the 20th. That had Kentwood and Gaines Township. It now includes Byron, Gaines, and Caledonia, but not Kentwood. The senator from that district would now represent southern Kent County all the way down to northern Berrien County, St. Joseph to Byron Center. The 29th now includes Kentwood and west central Kent County, including the city of Grand Rapids. The old 28th becomes the new 30th and includes Rockford and Walker, but instead of going north, it goes into eastern Ottawa County. Now, the northern part of Kent County, including Cedar Springs, Sparta, and Cannonsburg, will be part of a new 33rd district, and that stretches all the way from Portland in Ionia County all the way up to Irons in Lake County. And finally, the southeastern-most part of the county will be in the 18th district. That's comprised of parts of Calhoun, Kalamazoo, Berry, Ionia, and of course Kent counties. Now, that represents the change in just one county. The new districts will come under a good deal of scrutiny, as they always do. The question of communities of interest will always be up to an individual's interpretation, but the real question is what happens next. If any of the court challenges are upheld, either the one already in process that will be based on what plaintiffs see as a violation of the Federal Voting Rights Act, or others that will likely arise, the map will have to change. And if you change the map in one place, it will likely have a ripple effect and almost certainly change other districts. Adding to the complexity is we've just taken a look at one county and one of a set of 3 maps. No matter what, many of you will be voting in new districts, potentially for candidates you've yet to meet when the primary and general elections come around this year. We'll be here at your local election headquarters to keep you updated, informed about the final outcome of the latest redistricting process and follow all of those candidates that will be asking for your vote. Back to you.